The video marked Balcony 2 shows your wife with Jason and Jonathan at the same time. I'm so sorry I have to show all this, but since they were in public, you can use these videos if you decide to continue with your divorce and custody battle. I sat with my mouth open in amazement. I still found it hard to believe that it could be Kim, and I prayed that this would all turn out to be one huge mistake. David, we've looked into Jonathan Wilkes and Jason Sinclair. We found the following. Jonathan has been married for 10 years and has 4 young children. Mr. Sinclair has also been married for 25 years and has 3 grown children. The text messages reveal that Jonathan brought Jason into their games after your wife said she wanted to try a threesome. It's getting pretty dark here, so I'll let you read when you're ready. Take the folder and this USB drive with all the files and videos. I'm sure your lawyer will need both. When I met with my lawyer, she was amazed at the amount of data we were able to gather and could not believe that there were no signs of her adultery at home. She continues to act like a loving wife and mother, as if everything is completely normal. The lawyer said that we have several actions that we can take based on the files I provided. She needed time to work through all of our options and scheduled an appointment for the following week. I told her to start filing the divorce papers as soon as possible. I left the office with a big hole in my stomach. I knew it was over before I had these meetings, but watching these videos ended any hopes of reconciliation. Still confused, I asked myself, who was this woman? After the girls went to bed, we sat on the couch and watched an old movie I picked up on Netflix called Unfaithful. I heard it was a good film. Let's give it a chance, I said, pressing play. Since the film was about cheating spouses, I planned the conversation in advance. During the movie, I told Kim that there was a girl in my office who had been hitting on me for the past few months. You can imagine me with another woman, I said, laughing. She looked at me with narrowed eyes. Really, who? If I catch you even thinking about being with her, I'll leave. You understand? You belong to me and no one else, she said, with a serious expression on her face. Even though I tried to remain cheerful, she wasn't fooling around. She made it clear that she would not tolerate any deception. I couldn't believe how angry she was about this, how hypocritical one person can be. She got angry about it while she has sex with 2 men every day behind my back. Unreal. This is driving me crazy, David. Why didn't you tell me about her before? What is her name? Kim, relax. She is an intern, a young girl who loves to flirt. I completely ignored her. What about you, Kim? You are the most beautiful girl in your office. Are you saying that no one flirts with you? Of course not. They all know that I'm married and that I would never cheat on you. So, during our entire marriage, you never thought about being with another guy or did anything like that? I mean, even a friendly kiss. Have you ever cheated on me, baby? Now she was truly angry. Are you kidding me? Did you really just ask me that? I constantly tell you how much I love you. I am always with you. And I could never think of being with another man. You're an ass. I can't believe you asked me this. I apologized, I agreed with her, and continued watching the movie. I smiled to myself, thinking that she should have become an actress, because she was so convincing that I even doubted myself. No wonder she was so good at her job, I thought. After things had calmed down a bit, she pressed herself against my shoulder again, and I felt the time had come. I picked up my phone, opened the text app, and selected a photo of Kim and Jonathan kissing on the dance floor with his hand on her ass. I was looking at the photo when she noticed that I was distracted. What are you doing, David? Why aren't you watching the movie? Because what I'm looking at is more realistic? What are you talking about? I turned off the sound on the movie and showed her the photo. She froze and tried to say something, but nothing came out. I sat there, still looking at the photo, and said, "Wow, what a sexy kiss you're giving Jonathan." I can explain. Where did you get this photo from? When you were having dinner with your boyfriend, Greg Stanton was in the same restaurant and saw you with that guy. He texted me to find out if it's really you or if you're a perfect match. Well, it was you, and he sent it to me. Moreover, I must say that you look so sexy in this dress. I have never seen you in such a short or revealing dress. I think you wanted to impress your boyfriend. Oh, you were going to explain it. I can't wait to hear this. I said, putting the phone back on my lap. Baby, we only had one dance and he was drunk. When the song ended, he grabbed me and kissed me. What you don't see is that right after that I slapped him and made quite a scene. I would never let this happen. I actually bought this dress for a business dinner, but I didn't realize how revealing it was until now. I am so sorry. Oh, I understand. This can happen. And that was the only time this happened? I could tell she wasn't as confident as usual and said, "Yes, baby, and he'll never do it again." The movie continued, and I sat back and sat quietly, knowing that Kim was worried. After a few minutes, I took my phone and opened a video of them sitting on the couch with my hand up her skirt and started watching. She looked at me with a frightened look. "What are you looking at now?" "Remember that night when you called me and said you had a long day and you went back to your room and were getting ready to sleep?" "Yes," she whispered. "It's funny because I got another text from Greg 2 hours after you called, and this time it was a video." "Do you want to take a look?" I said as I pressed play and clearly showed her and Jonathan kissing as his hands explored her hidden treasures that were supposed to be mine alone. "I can't wait to hear a new explanation," I said, smiling. Now my anger was gone, and all I felt was contempt and amusement at her reaction. "Oh my God, David, I am so sorry." After we got off the phone, Jonathan called and said we needed to discuss the problem with one of the clients we were meeting with in the morning. He asked me to go down to the lobby to prepare for the meeting. I barely remember this video because I had a few drinks and got a little drunk. You know how I am when I'm drunk. I know the video looks bad, but nothing happened after that. I remember exactly how I went up to my room. I told him to stop, was happily married, and left. Nothing happened. You have to trust me. "That's part of the problem, kitten," I said, emphasizing the name kitten. I saw her blink when I said that and continued. "The problem is that I always believed you, but in the last 20 minutes, you lied to me twice. Can you see it from my side? I'm alone, and the love of my life is kissing her boss in 2 photos while wearing the sluttiest outfit she's ever worn. How do you think I feel, baby?" "David, I love you. This was 3 months ago. Why didn't you say anything earlier?" "Honestly, I wanted to see if you would tell me yourself. I wanted to make sure my wife was as honest and transparent as we have always been with each other. But now I understand how things are between us. Are you lying about anything else? Are you having an affair with him? You love him?" Now I was playing with her and enjoying her confusion and acting. She started sobbing and kept telling me how much she loved me. "Kim, please stop telling me that you love me so much. I'm sure you love me and I still love you, but that has nothing to do with these photos. I need to understand why. And is there anything else you're lying about?" I said, pressing the recorder button on the phone without her knowledge. "David, listen to me. Nothing happened. Yes, I think I kissed him like you saw, but that was it. And every time I told him to stop. I'm not sure what Greg saw or told you, but you have to believe me. Okay? Stop crying, baby. I believe you. However, I am confused by the way you were dressed. I mean, you never wear anything like that for me, and you never do your hair and makeup like that either. Did you do this for him? You haven't answered my question. Do you love him? Do you want to leave me for him, Kim? Please, I need to know the truth." The sobs resumed. "No, David, I love only you. I never want to lose you. Nothing happened, and I don't know why I dressed like that. This is so unlike me. Maybe it was because all the other women dressed similarly, and I wanted to look just as good. I don't know for sure. I was a little unsure of myself. I think I can understand that, and it makes sense. But why didn't you tell me about Jonathan and your closeness? Since nothing actually happened and I put an end to it, I didn't want to upset you. I mean, he's my boss, and I couldn't afford to lose my job if anything happened. If something really happened, I would tell you right away, you know?" I kissed her and held her gently, letting her cry. This was just the beginning of a month-long episode of playing out my revenge. That night we made love, and I enjoyed her amazing skills, aloof as her husband, and thinking of myself as one of her sexual partners. I wasn't going to deprive myself of her body and warn her about something unusual. The acting here was impressive, but at that moment, I didn't care anymore. She was more passionate than ever, trying to convince me that I was her only love. This continued for the next few weeks, every night. Her acting skills were on point, and I just enjoyed the show. The next morning, I did go to the cloud to see if she had any correspondence with Jonathan, and of course, she did not disappoint. "Oh my God! Someone took photos of us at the fair and sent them to David. His friend was at the restaurant and saw me without David. I'm not sure if he knows, but the video showed us kissing. Holy shit. Now that you mentioned it, I remembered that some guy with a phone across from us was watching what was happening. But I didn't think anything like that. What did David do? Nothing. I convinced him that nothing happened and stopped you. He has no idea that I spent the night in your room. I convinced him it was alcohol and made amends. He is easy to convince. A few kisses and good sex is all I ever needed to give him. Be careful, baby. We agreed that tomorrow we will meet there at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, as usual. Cannot wait. Too much time has passed. I love you, baby. I love you too, kitten." This was the last message, and I sat in silence, thinking about all this. Yes, obviously, I was the biggest idiot in the world, but revenge is sweet, and I walked the scorched earth. But I took the time to enjoy Kim's antics and see how many more lies she would tell. The first thing I did, of course, was take care of my financial situation, transferred funds, closed accounts, and so on. I left my main Visa card open and lowered the limit to $2,500 to control any damage it might cause. Since Kim had no idea how upset I was, she never thought I would change anything. I confirmed to the lawyer that since the house belonged to me before marriage, I would not have to leave the house once she was notified. Of course, I prepared the infamous email that I eventually sent, including video, text messages, and photos, to all of her friends, family, and work colleagues. I also created duplicate 3-ring binders from my personal account for Mrs. Sinclair and Mrs. Wilkes to share their pain. I would post this at the same time everyone is notified and cases are being filed. I asked my lawyer to prepare to file public civil lawsuits against both Jonathan, her boss, and Jason, the CEO of the company. Since the company was one of the largest technology companies on the East Coast, my lawyer was thrilled to have the CEO involved. We were going to make them a settlement offer before going public with how the CEO and managers were sexually harassing their employees. We worked with child guardian services attorneys to obtain full custody of the children and prepared the documents, file, and binder for the investigation. Over the next few weeks, everything seemed normal. We loved children and spent time together every day as usual. We went to dinner and discussed everything, avoiding the big elephant in the room. I'm sure my silence on the matter drove her crazy. Not knowing what I was thinking must have been exhausting. I decided to have some more fun with Kim and asked a few questions. "So, Kim, did your boss take any steps against you after the fair? Do you want to tell me something?" From her conversations with Jonathan, I knew that they still met every day at the hotel. I wasn't sure how she could control herself and lie so easily. It was funny to watch her reaction, and now I can even tell when she was going to lie. She calmly answered, "No, nothing at all. It's weird because we both act like nothing happened. And it's true, nothing actually happened. He was a total professional, and we rarely even talk because we are so busy with our projects." I just sat there with a cheeky smile, still amazed that the mother of my children and the love of my life could lie to me so easily. That night, I released the last of the anger that was still bubbling inside my body. I challenged her and took full advantage of her that night. "Oh my God, David, what came over you? You are a wild man today. I have never seen you so rude and unbridled. I liked it. What a nightmare," I thought. I knew this would be the last time before all this shit came out tomorrow, and I was going to take as much as I could from my soon-to-be ex-wife.